Hello, everyone. It's been a minute. Winter is here. Winter is outside. And I have stayed inside. So no outside for me for, let's see, it's been about 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days. So luckily, I did one of those things where I went to the grocery store and bought things so I wouldn't have to go back outside. And so every day feels like Sunday because a lot of people just are not trying it either. But it's getting better. So I was going to run out after I make this video, but I just wanted to check in with you and tell you that I watched trucks spinning in the snow, and and it was a hoot. I don't know what possessed these guys to get out on the first day of the major snow we've had in the Carolinas, and they drove up the street in their Ford Broncos and Chevy whatevers and spun tires. They got stuck in the snow. They had to go backwards to get traction and find a way out of the street in my neighborhood. Well, that was exciting to watch because it was kind of funny. I mean, they shouldn't have been out there to begin with, but I guess they thought they were going to do some joyride until they came to these hills. And but that's what happened. And I had to watch myself going out the door because my house, I didn't see it on other people's houses, but my house got these long icicles. And they were dropping down from over your door. And I knew something was going on a couple of days after the storm. I opened the door and this giant piece of ice flew down. And then I closed the door and looked up, and there was like 4 or 5 spikes up in the air hanging down to fall. I had to go in the house and get a broom and hit them to make sure I didn't get stabbed on the way out the door. So that happened. And so also I said I ended up doing a lot of AI things while we were in this situation. Couldn't go outside, so I just went on and signed up for Gemini Google Pro, and that was pretty good. And I want to tell you, the browser for Chrome has changed, and you know, I made a video about how good the Comet Perplexity browser was. Well, and I said a couple of things about the Google the Google Chrome browser not being as good as the Comet. And it's almost like, I know they didn't hear it, but it's almost like you feel like they heard it. And said, oh, so you think they're better than us. And at the time, I did. And because I was planning to transfer everything over to the Comet browser. Well, Comet hooked us in, and then as you're using it, I told you they fill out forms for you. They will do things on a website for you. They'll try to set up a code if you're playing around with Google AI Gemini, whichever one it is, you know, the one with the AI, Google Gemini AI Studio. And I was trying to do all these things and everything. So then I noticed when Google started saying that they improved their browser. And so, you know, I was just waiting on it, like, you know, I didn't see anything happening and stuff. But then I noticed that the Gemini talk box that's on Chrome was changing. And this is before I signed up for the Pro. And so when I was working on this website, I was doing something, and I was asking the Google browser some questions and everything, and it was very good. And I had the vocal part on, and it was telling me this is what I told it I wanted to figure out what kind of video to make, since I hadn't posted in a little while. And then it said, yes, I'll give you, here's some ideas. It gave me some ideas. And it said, would you like to, I told him, I said, I'm on LM Arena, so what would I need to put in there to get it to compare? LM Arena is fairly easy to use, but I was just wanting some tips. Well, hold on. Excuse me. Anyway, I asked it about LM Arena and what could I do? Very positive, very helpful. And then it said something like, well, would you like for me to put this in there for you so you can see it? And I thought, what does it mean by that? And I said, I just put in, yes, go ahead. And it took over the browser like Perplexity used to do. Perplexity has stopped doing that. Once they got you in there to get their browser, they wanted money to do what they originally started doing when you got the browser. And that's when Google knew they had them. Google is knocking services out because of their little free situation. But before that, I noticed that I don't know if they call it agentic agent or AGI, but I said, could you, I said, go ahead and do it. Well, it did it perfectly. And when it got through, I was sitting there looking at it, and it took over your browser. You see it glowing on the edges. And then it stopped and said, I recommend this one on this side for this part of it, and then this side for that part of it. But look at both sides and see on LM Arena, which is now called just Arena, and ARENA. And it uses Claude, Grok, and a few other services to create your ideas for it. And it gave me an idea, and I didn't have to do anything. And it said, if you didn't like this situation, I can do this over for a different way. Tell me what your preferences would be. I mean, I didn't type in anything on this one. And I was just sitting there kind of amazed that it did that. I said, now I knew Perplexity could do some things like that, but the Chrome browser was just eager and happy to do it and volunteered. Boy, we headed for a whole nother world. What's that old soap opera used to be on, and the baby boomers know? Another world. We're going into another world, and it was really, really good, and they gave me some good examples. So after it did that, I took some of the examples on it. I didn't use it on this video, but I was just kind of amazed, and then I'm beginning to find out there's two browsers. There's two things I really am enjoying is all of the Google products. They're knocking out their competition left and right. OpenAI is going to have a hard time catching up with Google because they're starting to leave a little dust now. And I've got so many things, so many little apps that I've been playing with. That's why I haven't been posting, because I've been like a kid in the chocolate factory. All this stuff that Google is giving for free. And I was so impressed because I'm a picture person. And so a lot of the things I do, I like to correct pictures. I like to post them on different websites. So Google is so accommodating with it, and Google AI Studio will give you apps that you can make for yourself, and I guess you can probably use them. But I learn something every day, and I figure that a lot of people are going through the same thing. We're all looking at all of these apps and figuring out what they can do for us and watching them do things for us. And so I'm glad I did go for the Google AI Pro, whichever one it is, I don't know. But I thought it was worth it. You get like, I think you get a month free or 2 months. I got it, and I'm gonna be playing with this. If I'm not posting, that's why. I'm trying to really just learn all this AI stuff, and to me, it's fun. It's great for an older person to play with this because you know how they say you can play. It's the same thing as playing cards and playing games at the nursing home, that kind of thing. You know, it's just that much fun. So that's where I've been, in the snow, hanging out, not doing too much, and watching the snow. And I'll get back maybe to some more reviews, because I was talking with Google again, and they said that I did so good on some of the videos here. And they're right, because I got so much to tell you in the future, so I need to post more to let you know what I'm doing. I've arranged a lot of thumbnails that I've created for myself on the Google AI app, and I've had so much fun making them that they're almost, to me, like pieces of art. I've been organizing my files. I've been putting them together. I got backup thumbnails now. So there's no need for me not to post, because I would have a pretty thumbnail that I like. And if I see something someone else has for their thumbnail, I can mold it for myself in one of my programs. I've got 3 or 4 of them that I use, and they all do different things. Of course, I had to really work on those, because the Google AI Studio lets you update your opinions and add on features that you like. So I would say, everybody, go out there and mess around with Google AI Studio. And also with that, don't forget about the Chinese Qwen, Qwen. It will help you make code for Google AI Studio. As a matter of fact, that's where I went to first for most of the ones I created. And I asked Qwen, I said, I gave it all the information I wanted for these things that I wanted to do. And it takes your verbal command and runs with it and creates code, and said, put this in Google AI Studio. And then once you put it in there, you can still adjust it. Either Qwen will adjust it, the Chinese version, and give it back to you, give to Google AI, or Google AI Studio itself will adjust it for you. And then you just save it to GitHub or your Drive and Google Drive. And it was automatically saving some things I had in Google AI Studio into the Google AI Drive. I didn't realize that until I was actually just messing around in it. But I would suggest everybody to see LM Arena, which is now called Arena AI, Google AI Studio, and then what I did, Google AI Pro, because it just gives you more strength to do all the things you want to do and make you some thumbnails. They're fun. I mean, well, it's entertaining an old guy. So, I've never looked so good on these thumbnails. I'm sorry. I'm flabbergasted. Yeah. Well, anyway, this is not supposed to be too long, and look, it's already gone 15 minutes. I done broke my own rule. I'm trying to not gab so much. But anyway, you know you won't see me for another 2 or 3 days. But I'm going to be better. And I'll talk at you more and let you know what else is going on. You have a good day. And don't forget to subscribe and like. And I appreciate everybody that drops in. Take care, folks.